Hello, and welcome to our presentation, prepared by Zulema Alonso, Rosa Bedoya, Cesar Garcia, Maria Vargas, and Mary Yang. Today, we will be examining several of Japan's historical, institutional, and cultural legacies, as well as Grupo Bimbo's current financial position, to answer the following question. Should Grupo Bimbo extend its operations into the Japanese market? In attempting to answer this question, we first look at what major historical legacies have affected the development of institutions in Japan. A main one is Japan's views as a homogeneous society. The Japanese have a strong sense of national identity. They truly value their culture, and the country's population has little to no racial diversity. Another factor that has affected the development of institutions in Japan is its strained relations with other countries. One example of this is its historical practice of colonizing other countries, such as its occupation of Korea from 1910 to 1945. During this time, Japan forbade use of the Korean language, destroyed historical documents and landmarks, and instituted forced labor, putting Koreans to work in mines and military brothels. Because of this, we still see backlash to this day, such as the 2019 trade dispute between Japan and South Korea, when many South Koreans were boycotting Japanese products. Another example of strained relations is Japan's conflicting interpretations of pre-1945 history. Many neighboring countries still perceive a lack of Japanese acknowledgement of past events, as well as mistakes that exist in Japanese textbooks. We also examine some of Japan's weaker institutions, one of which is political. In Japan, government policies are constantly changing, which poses threats for new business opportunities. As Japan's policies change, multinational corporations must adjust their strategies and practices to accommodate the changes. For example, these changes may include delays in labor market reform, as well as policy implementation that is heavily influenced by interest groups. Another of Japan's weaker institutions is economic. Japan has a lengthy process for obtaining permits and registering property. It can take up to 193 days to acquire a construction permit. Having guanxi, or good connections, is highly recommended for new entrants. Transportation and infrastructure costs can also be high, as the country is at high risk for natural disasters, such as earthquakes and tsunamis. Having a weak infrastructure makes it more difficult to transport product. Though Grupo Bimbo has been successful so far due to their strong supply chain in other regions, it is possible that Japan's infrastructure may pose a threat, as areas with weak infrastructure are less stable and carry more risk. When breaking down the cultural dimensions of Japan, we find that there is much overlap with Mexico, the home country of Grupo Bimbo. For instance, both countries share similar power distance levels, which allows for the same perspective and level of respect for the different levels of management within organizations. Another similarity lies in each country's approach to individualism. Both Japan and Mexico place high value on familial connections. Therefore, it would be wise for Grupo Bimbo to share its origins as a family business, as doing so will allow Japan and Mexico to work together in furthering their shared interest in expanding family businesses. Yet another parallel in cultural dimensions exists in each country's masculinity levels, which are both very high. This could potentially create issues in business negotiations, as one party may attempt to dominate the other party and create tension as a result. However, Japan's more humble approach may also complement Mexico's more straightforward style. Lastly, both countries share a high level of uncertainty avoidance. Japan and Mexico both have a general aversion to lack of preparedness and lack of foresight. Because of this, both countries will endeavor to be thorough and specific when detailing business plans, and will also strive to make deals that ensure the best possible outcomes. It is evident to us that both countries share many similarities across their cultures, which can allow for a company like Grupo Bimbo to succeed in Japan. If Grupo Bimbo treats seniority and hierarchy with the same respect that Japan does, Japan will in turn offer the same respect back to the company, which can set the tone for a positive process. Showing respect for familial ties will also appeal to Japan's low individualism. Because Japan also exhibits one of the highest levels of uncertainty avoidance of any country, Grupo Bimbo must be prepared to provide detailed business plans and implementation in order to assuage any doubts. By being mindful of Mexico's and Japan's similarities in cultural dimensions, Grupo Bimbo can more effectively position itself to succeed in the Japanese market by familiarizing itself with Japanese culture and working to bridge the gaps in their differences. However, no business partnership is not without its possible challenges, and Grupo Bimbo's expansion into Japan would be no exception. Issues can arise if Grupo Bimbo takes an approach that fails to recognize the importance of seniority and upper management, which can demonstrate a lack of seriousness to the Japanese. Taking on an overly masculine approach can also create obstacles, as this may result in Japan retaliating with a similar attitude and derail the good faith of negotiations. Grupo Bimbo may also be hesitant about Japan's approach to long-term orientation as well as its implementation of progressive ideas. Lastly, we will be examining Grupo Bimbo's current position as a multinational corporation. The company has several strengths that play in its favor. It is the largest baking company in the world, with 196 plants strategically located in 33 countries. Grupo Bimbo has an unparalleled direct distribution network and owns several iconic premium brands that are well recognized, including Sara Lee, Oro Wheat, and its namesake Bimbo. The company demonstrates a commitment to producing quality products, with a strong emphasis on meeting nutritional guidelines across a wide range of products, as well as being economically, environmentally, and socially conscious. Despite these strengths, Grupo Bimbo also has some weaknesses that may hinder potential growth. Its market distribution is highly fragmented, with 3,000 independent and 6,000 retail markets. Its U.S. market, in particular, is heavily saturated. The company has also seen high employee turnover in its overseas operations. Its decision-making is also highly centralized, which negatively impacts efficiency as the time spent making and communicating decisions may slow operations down. Externally, Grupo Bimbo does have some opportunities it can pursue to expand its reach. One option is reformulating existing product lines with healthier options to appeal to markets that are increasingly health conscious. The company can also streamline its value chain by optimizing SKUs and pricing, leveraging the brand, and expanding and modernizing distribution. Grupo Bimbo may also globalize even further by capitalizing on niche markets. Social media is also an opportunity for the company to market its products and gather customer feedback. Grupo Bimbo also faces some external threats that can potentially create issues. Its consumers' lifestyles are ever-changing. As potential customers opt for healthier, gluten-free, low-carb, and high-fiber options, they may elect to skirt a Grupo Bimbo product in favor of a healthier alternative. The raw material used to manufacture its products is also highly volatile, with seasonal demand and periodic price fluctuations all having negative impacts on Grupo Bimbo's bottom line. There is also increasing competition within the industry, particularly from companies that target health-conscious consumers. Grupo Bimbo's profitability as a company is also dependent on population growth. Furthermore, constant technological advancements mean the company must continually explore revamping its systems and equipment. Based on our findings, we recommend that Grupo Bimbo explore potential business opportunities in Japan and seriously consider expansion into that market after the current COVID-19 outbreak has settled. This concludes our presentation. We thank you for your time and hope that you're staying safe. Take care.